I never thought a shattered picture frame would change my life. It was a Sunday morning. I had just finished mowing the lawn and came inside for some water. That's when I saw it, our family photo from a beach trip, lying face down on the hallway floor. The glass cracked across my smile. Laura said it fell off the hook. But her voice lacked concern, her eyes darted away, and in that instant, something inside me shifted. My name's Eric. I'm 36, living in a quiet suburb in Pennsylvania. I work in logistics, the kind of job where you notice patterns, inconsistencies, things that don't add up. I never thought I'd have to apply those instincts at home. Laura had recently picked up a part-time job at a local interior design studio in another town. I supported her. After being a stay-at-home mom for years, it made sense. But the broken frame? It felt symbolic. Like something fragile had already snapped. Our kids, 5 and 7, started talking about going to Grandma's house more often. Laura's parents lived nearly 70 miles away, and these visits seemed to happen 2 or 3 times a week, every time she wasn't at work. That felt off. Then came the small things. She suddenly needed to charge her phone in the car. The way she laughed at texts she wouldn't show me. The way her scent changed when she returned home late. One evening, when she was showering, I checked the odometer on her SUV. I jotted down the number. By Friday, I checked again. She'd driven over 400 miles more than usual. I didn't say anything. I just watched. Then came the mistake. One night, Laura left her laptop open. A sticky note fluttered off the edge of the screen, her email password. I hesitated. But only for a second. In her inbox, buried among promotions and PTA reminders, were emails to and from her college best friend. One in particular stood out. Hope lunch with him was worth the extra miles today. The messages were vague, no names, no dates, but the subtext was loud. Laura was involved with someone. And it wasn't new. I printed what I needed. Quietly. No confrontation. Instead, I called Mike. Mike and I went way back. He used to be a cop before starting his investigation agency. I gave him everything I had, the emails, the mileage, the timelines. He said, "Give me 3 days." Those days were brutal. I tucked my kids into bed, kissed Laura goodnight, and lay awake next to a stranger. On the 4th morning, Mike dropped off an envelope. Inside were timestamps, photographs, and addresses. Laura wasn't going to her mom's. She was meeting someone for lunch. Then, heading to a motel off the highway. Always the same one. The man's face was clear. His hand was on her back. Her laugh, captured mid-frame. Something inside me settled. Not anger. Not heartbreak. Focus. She thought no one was watching. She was wrong. Mike's report didn't just confirm where Laura had been going. It showed who she'd been with. His name was Jason Miller. He worked as a regional sales director for a mid-sized manufacturing firm, one owned by his father-in-law, no less. Married. 3 kids. From the outside, he looked like the kind of guy who'd wave at neighbors, coach Little League, and show up at church with a smile. I wasn't interested in who he pretended to be. I wasn't even angry anymore. What I felt was colder. Focused. I didn't want screaming matches or dramatic scenes. I wasn't planning revenge in the way people think of it. I wanted something sharper than that. I wanted the truth. Delivered quietly. Precisely. First, I met with my attorney. I laid everything out, the emails, Mike's findings, the timeline. While infidelity wouldn't mean much in court, it gave me clarity. I wasn't going to let Laura twist this into a miscommunication. I wanted the story told before anyone had a chance to rewrite it. Next, I asked Mike to look into Jason's personal life. His wife, Emily, worked in HR at the same company. Her office? Just one floor below Jason's. The opportunity was too perfect. So I drove down there, late afternoon, envelope in hand. Mike had prepared a neatly compiled folder, dates, photos, hotel records, all of it. I didn't knock on doors or make a scene. I simply walked up to her desk during her break, looked her in the eyes, and said, "You deserve to know." She didn't say anything. Just stared at the folder in her hands. I walked away. Never looked back. That was the moment the mirror cracked, not just for Laura, not just for Jason, but for everything they thought they could keep hidden. What they didn't realize was this: I wasn't here to destroy them. I was simply giving them the tools to do it themselves. By the next morning, the world had already shifted. Laura moved through the kitchen like nothing had happened, making breakfast, packing the kids' lunches, sipping coffee from a new mug like she hadn't shattered our lives weeks ago. But in another part of town, Jason's world was collapsing. Mike called that afternoon. Emily had taken the folder home. She didn't cause a scene at work, didn't even confront Jason there. But that evening, in the home they shared, she laid everything out. Quiet, direct, and final. Emily left with the kids the next day. By the end of the week, Jason was asked to resign. His father-in-law was concerned about image, and not fond of personal scandals. The house Jason lived in, owned by Emily's parents, was no longer his to stay in. I never spoke to Jason. I didn't need to. The truth had done its job. As for Laura, I waited one more week. It was a calm Thursday night. The kids were at my sister's place. I handed her a sealed envelope as she was clearing the dinner table. She looked confused until she opened it. Divorce papers. Quietly laid out. No arguments. No surprises. She stared at the pages, then at me. "I never meant to." "You did," I said. "Let's not rewrite history." She signed them a few days later. There were no drawn-out hearings. We kept it clean. I made sure the kids stayed protected, surrounded by love, and shielded from the mess we created. Months later, I heard she tried reaching out to Jason. But he was gone. Left the state, maybe even changed his number. His life, once perfectly curated, had unraveled on its own. That's the thing about secrets. They only work in the dark. I didn't need to yell. I didn't need revenge and fire or fury. I never touched his job. I never forced Laura's hand. I never raised my voice. All I did was hand them a mirror. And they burned in their reflection. Now, I live in a quiet house. My kids laugh louder here. I sleep easier. I don't look back. Because sometimes, the best kind of justice is knowing you never had to swing a single punch.